The echoes of heartbeats. Lena's footsteps echoed softly through the dimly lit alleyway. The cold night air clung to her, but she hardly noticed. Her mind was elsewhere, lost in thoughts that were both a comfort and a burden. She glanced at her phone, the time reading 11:47 p.m., almost there. The city, always vibrant during the day, had quieted down by the time Lena reached her destination, a small, unassuming bookstore tucked between two towering apartment buildings. She'd passed it countless times before, but tonight, the faded sign in front seemed to pull her in like a magnet. Heartbeats, it read. The name was simple but powerful, evoking something both fragile and alive. Lena didn't need to be told what the bookstore was. It was a place for people who sought solace in the pages of stories, where one could lose themselves in the lives of others, or perhaps find a reflection of their own. She pushed open the door, the soft bell above it ringing. Inside, the warmth of the store enveloped her. The walls were lined with shelves, some full of books, others half empty, as if the place had been here longer than time itself. The air smelled faintly of paper and ink, a comforting scent that reminded Lena of home. "Hello?" she called, her voice barely above a whisper, as if not wanting to disturb the stillness of the space. She didn't see anyone at first, but the low hum of a distant conversation caught her attention. Following the sound, she found herself in the back corner of the store, where an elderly man sat behind a small counter, his glasses perched at the end of his nose as he read a book. "Ah, a customer," the man said with a smile, not looking up from his book. "Come to seek something special, I presume?" Lena nodded, though she wasn't sure what she was seeking herself. Her heart felt heavy, weighed down by the unspoken things in her life, the relationships that had drifted apart, the promises that had been broken, and the one person who had been both her greatest love and deepest loss. "I've heard about this place," Lena said softly. "It's different. People say it has a way of finding what you need, not what you want." The man chuckled, the sound raspy but kind. "You're not the first to say that. Many come looking for answers, but the truth is, the store doesn't find anything for you. It's just a mirror. The books you choose, they reflect your heart, your soul. They tell you what you need to hear, even if it's not what you're ready to listen to." Lena felt a chill run down her spine. Her heart, which had been pounding with uncertainty, now skipped a beat. I don't know if I'm ready for that." The man met her gaze, his eyes kind and wise. "That's not for you to decide, dear. Sometimes the heart chooses before the mind understands." Lena hesitated, then glanced around the dimly lit room. The shelves seemed to beckon her, each book promising to reveal something unknown. With a sense of purpose, she walked down the aisle, her fingers grazing the spines of books that had lived countless lifetimes on the shelves. She stopped in front of a small, worn book with no title on the cover. Its binding was faded, and the pages inside seemed fragile, as though they could fall apart at any moment. Something about it called to her, something familiar, yet foreign. She pulled it off the shelf, feeling its weight in her hands. The elderly man's voice broke through her thoughts. "Ah, you found it. That one's special. I hope you're ready for what it will reveal." Lena's heart raced. She flipped open the cover, half expecting the book to be empty. But instead, words filled the pages, neat and delicate, as if they had been written just for her. She began to read. The story of the one who left begins here, in the heart of the one who stayed. The silence between them is both a gift and a curse. It is not the absence of sound, but the absence of understanding that hurts the most. The words seemed to echo in her chest, as if they had been carved into her very soul. She continued reading, her eyes scanning the lines, each one striking deeper than the last. "The heartbeats you miss are not lost forever. They linger in the spaces where you once held each other, in the quiet moments where time stood still. The love you thought you had lost has only transformed, waiting for you to recognize it, to find it again." Tears welled up in Lena's eyes. She hadn't realized how much she had been carrying, How much she had wanted to understand about the person she had once loved, about the way they had drifted apart. The weight of the years they had spent together and the years they had spent apart were finally coming to the surface. But there, in the words of the book, she found something she hadn't expected: forgiveness. It wasn't something she had to give to anyone else. It was for herself, for the parts of her that had been broken and left behind. The book